giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakah, Kwadash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles that taught us his truth, and salutes to all the sincere elect out there. Back at you with another lesson. So, the true face of crime, the true face of crime, that's the question. Who are the true face of crime today? And has always been. So this is a nursery worker guilty of raping children, right? And got a couple of clips to look at. A nursery worker has been found guilty of sexual abusing children in what was described in court as every parent's nightmare. So we're gonna catch up on some of the Google or the TikTok, a couple of TikTok videos, because we're just making a point, because we have that Lord Meldiston. He was exposed. He being involved in the Epstein files. Everything's gonna come out, as we know. What is in the dark will always come out into the light. And also now we have Starmer. He's addressing the amid calls to resign in the parliament. There's pressure for him to resign over what the Lord Meldiston just been found out to be linked with the Epstein files. Probably a whole heap more. We won't get that coming out. And by the way, this is the year of apostates, sellouts, and agents. So everything's going to be, the beans will be spilled. Let's check out this clip here, because you've got a couple to look at here. All I just tapped in was things what be happening as far as the raping and the children being assaulted, and you got a whole lot of them here. See, look at that. Let's check out this one.
Nathan Bennett, just Google it. He has just been found guilty of essaying little toddlers in a nursery that he worked. 2 to 3 year old little boys who barely can string 2 sentences together. This is what grooming looks like. Sitting them on his lap for extended periods of time. He was wearing trousers with the crotch area removed. He was becoming territorial and possessive over certain children. Luckily, he was finally caught out, and after a 6-month investigation, he has now been found guilty of rape, essay by penetration, and various other forms of essay. We as parents have to start normalizing teaching our children about body safety as early as 2. You need to teach them about bad touch, wrong touch, also to be able to confide to a safe adult if something like that is happening. These children were in a nursery where the parents felt they could trust the establishment to look after, care for, and nurture their children. Clearly, this has destroyed so many lives.
Right. So she on point. She looked like she could be some form of solicitor or barrister or something, or even judge. But boy, today's topic is who is the face Sleezy, who is the face of crime? Sleezy E can't do right. And it just, the more I don't want to get, the rabbit hole goes deep, but look at this one. There's another one here. Woman 22 jailed over sadistic abuse of 21 babies at London nursery. Right, so boy, where are your children safe? That is the question. Where are your children safe today? Yeah, 22-year-old nursery worker has been sentenced to 8 years in jail after being convicted of sadistic abuse of 21 babies, including punching children, kicking one little boy in the face. What is this, man? Oh boy, that reminds me of what happened to the Gadites when they was in Canada, when they was in the residential schools. You had nuns, which are supposed to be holier than thou, right? Which we know is, that's one of the unclean frogs from the Catholic Church. Nuns getting children, bringing them up the stairs and booting them down from off the top of the stairs to the bottom. And I was first found out about that through some digging up some history, something called the Ninth Circle in the Catholic Church. You've heard about Gary Glitter and Cliff Richard and all them people there. Jim will fix it, and that's called the Ninth Circle. So this ain't new to the devil, right? We're gonna get the scriptures. We know the one in Genesis Genesis 4, about he's a fugitive, but don't forget, right? If there's people that are fugitives on the loose, then there's going to be crime ramping up, and some of it makes mainstream, some of it doesn't. But I'm gonna just make who are the real faces of crime? That's the question. Yeah, we got another one too. We got another one. We're just bringing out the truth here. Face the true face. The sleazy E can't do right. The true face of crime. Lucy Depta found guilty of attempting to murder baby following ritual. So it's all about these witches, so-called white witches. Convicted child murder. Lucy, because as far as when you look on the news and when you look into, you know, at them as a people on the surface, they won't harm an ant. They won't even harm an ant. They won't harm a fly. They're holier than thou. The Edomites are the face of beauty. They can't go wrong. But when you lift up the skirt, Isaiah 47, when you lift up the skirt, their nakedness, you see the shame of them, right? There's a whole load of, what do you call it, a whole load of nastiness underneath the skirt, man. You know what I'm saying? He's being exposed, you know. The shame is being exposed. Literally, the shame is being exposed. As far as Epstein files, you got the other one, spy cops. That's a file. People have been protesting that for years. We went into that in the weekend. What the spy cops, so-called police officers were with badges was able to do. You know, infiltrate all different types of organizations, even so far as to get up close and personal with the women and live a real double life. So this convicted murderer, Lucy Lepti, has been found guilty of trying to delete another baby in the nurture unit where she worked. And it's always them ones where you think, oh, this is where this is safe. This is a safe place. And I was in that Jehovah's Witness as well. And when you do research on things, you know, especially where Edomites are the organizations, they're the organization as far as we know about the Catholic Church. What happens to children in the Catholic Church? It's the very same thing with Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and all these unclean frogs organizations, the Catholic Church and the false prophets. You dig deeper and you find out there's all types of allegations, all type of children being looking for vindication, getting paid off, getting paid hush money wherever they are. And we're going to get the scriptures wherever they are, right? That is where crime be taking place, right? That is why there's no mercy going to be given to the devils. Malachi 1, Malachi 4, there's going to be no mercy shown to these devils. The Crown Prosecution Service prosecuted the former nurse, and right, it's not like allegedly here. It's not allegedly. Prosecuted former nurse at the Countess of Chester Hospital for the attempted murder of the child known as Baby K after a jury failed to reach a verdict on that offence last year. In August 2023, a jury at Manchester Crown Court found Lepti, 33, guilty of murdering 7 very young babies. What is it with this? Anyway, we know what it is. Without like we're surprised. Very young babies and trying to murder 6 others following an 8-month trial. She was given a whole life term in prison for the offence. They can't do right. Just can't do right. Let's check this out here. What's people talking? What's people saying? Let's see. I want to see what people are saying.
You believe she's innocent, do you?
Yeah, yes, there is so much about this case. The longer you study it, the more you read about the actual trial and the case itself. You know, I'm a former nurse too, and I also worked in a special...
What is the news?
Yeah, you're a former nurse. I don't trust you either, right? I don't trust you. The evidence, she's been found guilty. Let the jury do the case. Let the judge do his job. That's what they always say when Jake be getting messed up and locked up, right? We know Jake be getting into our kind of things, but Proverbs 12, we know that he's being seduced as well. So that's what some people are still, after they've been found guilty. Look, let me listen to another one.
Is the new Lucy Letby documentary causing?
See, let's just take a nice look at this. Right, they've made a Netflix about this, made it into a movie. The true face of crime here.
So much talk.
No comment.
It's one of the most controversial criminal cases of our time. A neonatal nurse convicted of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder 7 more. But this...
Yeah, well, that police criticism.
So you can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. Right? After she's found guilty, she tried to attempt to double it. The number 7 means completed. So these devils ain't gonna stop doing their thing until they. As a matter of fact, we're gonna bring out the scriptures. Let's just say, hold on. Let's find another one here. What's this one?
Well, another court hearing today about Lucy Letby. She wasn't there, but this was about the inquests of 5 of the babies she's convicted of murdering. It was a short hearing, a procedural hearing, really, a formal opening, adjourning and suspending of the inquests of 5 of the babies that we can only identify as babies C, E, I, O and P. Now, they'd originally been given death certificates showing that they died from natural causes. Obviously, because of Letby's conviction.
That's what you call doctoring up documents. Why? Because they were in that NHS. You can't make it, you know, that's what they do. They doctor things, you know, that's why they call them doctors. It means to doctor up, or to cover up, or to lie, right? Because they're in control of the documents, right?
And suspending of the inquests of 5 of the babies that we can only identify as babies C, E, I, O and P. Now, they'd originally been given death certificates showing that they died from natural causes. Obviously, because of Letby's conviction, that has now all changed. But we've got to wait for the publication of the public inquiry, which is due up.
So they would have been, on paper, they would have been as gone deceased as natural causes, babies die natural causes. But now she's been found guilty. Now the evidence has come out that she murdered them, right? Not allegedly, she's been convicted.
To Easter before those inquests are heard. Now, this comes on the day that a new documentary has been released on Netflix, which is already causing controversy. Letby's parents have condemned the use of never before seen footage of her being arrested at their family home, saying it is a complete invasion of their privacy.
So this is the scripture comes to mind, right? We're going to read some of them, we're going to quote some of them, but Isaiah 47 around 3, the nakedness is being uncovered, man. The shame shall be seen here. Look at it. That's the face of the criminal right there. That's the face of crime right there. And you don't hear about it unless you do a little bit of digging for yourself. You get one news article that comes up maybe on the news, they flash it up there, right? But every time I notice that they flash up for something quick, and then they keep it moving, I make sure I just go straight to the computer and do some research and background checks on the devil, because that's what you got to do. And then you find out there's a whole lot of there's a whole criminal record behind them. The rabbit hole go be going deep with them. So you got this one here, right? You got that one here. Yeah, that's the one there. As a matter of fact, and then you got that dude there. These are the face of crime. Sleezy, the true face of crime. That's going to be the title of this video, right? And they don't give the mainstream don't give a lot of airplay, but that's why we're here, right? To expose everything.
This Bristol nursery worker has been found guilty of offences including rape and sexual assault against 5 toddlers. Nathan Bennett was arrested in February last year.
Arrest on suspicion of sexual assault of a child. Right, do not say anything. On the offence, the question, something clear to all for anything you do say not be relevant. The reason you'll be arrested right now is to enable a prompt and effective investigation, so you can interview and so that we can conduct searches relating to evidence in relation to that offence. Okay?
Right, so you have it. This woman as well, because we just got to make everything be known right? And what they're known for being the harbingers of death, and they can't do right. They, as soon as they be born, they go astray, speaking lies. We've got another one here. Oh, court! Look, court.
It's a nurse.
By the way, yeah, the evidence is so overwhelming. They've been caught on all of them. Been caught on CCTV. So the evidence is overwhelming.
An allegation has been made, okay, that you've been seen on a number of occasions to assault children with sidelined.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
This is the moment.
See how nonchalant they are and detached they are and how cold they are. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. Like speak about themselves like they're in third person. Oh, I wonder what's going on about that.
Police finally caught up with Roxana Lecker, a nursery worker trusted to care for babies and young children who instead physically abused them, today jailed for 8 years. Outside court, one family described what they've endured, their words spoken by their solicitor.
We've been on a roller coaster of emotions and feel hurt and angered by what our child endured. Whilst we've relieved, Lecker has been stopped and dealt with by the courts. The effect of what happened still impact on our family. We're now nervous about letting our child out of our sight and into the care of others.
CCTV captured her day after day, pinching, slapping, shoving, and even kicking a baby several times in the head, all while high on cannabis.
That's this. Right. Video will be skipping. Let's go back to it.
An allegation has been made, okay, that you've been seen on a number of occasions to assault children with sidelined.
Oh, yeah, I've
Was it?
Yeah.
Why it does that, man. Let's go back
An
to it.
allegation has been made, okay, that you've been seen.
Was it?
Yeah.
Every time I move the thing, maybe it's
Okay. An allegation has been made, okay, that you've been seen on a number of occasions to assault children with sidelined.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
This is the moment police finally caught up with Roxana Lecker, a nursery worker trusted to care for babies and young children who instead physically abused them, today jailed for 8 years. Outside court, one family described what they've endured, their words spoken by their solicitor.
We've been on a roller coaster of emotions and feel hurt and angered by what our child endured. Whilst we've relieved, Lecker has been stopped and dealt with by the courts. The effect of what happened still impact on our family. We're now nervous about letting our child out of our sight and into the care of others.
CCTV captured her day after day, pinching, slapping, shoving, and even kicking a baby several times in the head, all while high on cannabis. This footage shows her vaping as infants slept, here just a metre away from a baby's head. In court, families said that they've been left feeling guilty and angry. Looking directly at Lecker, one mother said, "These children were so innocent and vulnerable. They couldn't speak. They couldn't defend themselves. They were totally helpless, and Roxana preyed upon them." After being caught pinching children last June at Riverside Nursery in southwest London, detectives began trawling through hours of footage and uncovered more assaults. The nursery has since shut down, but police say she also attacked a child at a second nursery nearby. But in police interview...
What about these big red marks and bruises to her back? Any idea about those?
No comment.
Did you cause those?
No comment.
She refused to take responsibility for her actions.
There was no emotion, and at times she seemed twiddling her hair, and I think that speaks volumes to us about how she behaved in interview. There's no remorse, and that's only added to the pain that the families have experienced throughout this process.
Serious questions remain over Roxana Lecker's conduct and how it went unchecked for so long. The nursery has so far not responded to our request for comment, and families are now taking legal action.
Right, so this is what will be going on, right? So your children are not safe anywhere unless they're under the protection of the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashim Yahushai. You know, we've seen you multiple times on CCTV assaulting children. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. let's get the scriptures, bro. Let's get the scriptures here, because we've got to find everything through the scriptures, and the scriptures, let them speak. Psalms 144 and 7 says, Send thine hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of the great waters, from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Right? So I want to get into that word there. And we need deliverance because we're still here as adults, let alone children. And that was true when we did get into the Deuteronomy 28, man. The people that are going to be coming against us, right? They're going to be cold. They're going to be us. They're going to be severe. We ain't going to be able to run and hide from them. They're going to have no mercy upon the. This could be another video. We don't want it to be too long, but they ain't going to show no mercy to the young or the old. So this is definitely Deuteronomy 28, the curses. And you see how nonchalant and innocent she appeared to be. Send thine hand, I'll read it again. Send thine hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of the great waters, from the hand of strange children. The word strange. Is H5230X36. Right, that's why we put up in prayers. Right, and also the large prayer in the Lashwan Kodash, in the Hebrew. Right, deliver us out of this wicked place, man. You know, we get into them prayers daily, and also Psalm 51. Elder Apostle Rakar reminds us, and still reminds us, to that's a good prayer too. You know, if you ever short of words, you know what I mean, you just read it. Right, affirmations. So we need. That's what we basically saying. We want this place to be put away. We want to be delivered. So the word what we're looking at, strange, foreigner. So if you want to talk about foreigners, yeah, you know, why don't you go back to your own country? The National Front. That's what they be saying to, you know, so-called Pakistanis and Jake. Why don't you go back to your own country? Why don't you go back to where you come from? You're the true aliens, right? Petra originally, that's your place. You know what I mean? So, right, that's it, alien. You're the strange people, you're the aliens, you're the true aliens, right? Talk about, what's that guy, Tommy Robinson? You know what I mean? Talking about, we want to make Britain white again. If you want to make it right again, you want to make it right, you go back to Petra, right? Because you ain't got no place. The Most High never gave you no other place. Even that ain't yours, right? Caucasus Mountains ain't yours either, right? You belong on the cotton field, serving out your debt to society. You're the true foreigners, and that's where you're gonna be anyway. That's where you're gonna be. That's where you're gonna end up, where you belong. Serving out your sentence to the Jakes, to so-called black people, on the cotton field, building up the land, beautifying it without getting no pay. Your pay is going to be a boot up the body. That's going to be your pay. A boot up the backside. Right? And I'm just talking, you know, in the spirit. Right? And that's just, you know what I mean? That's just a little bit of what you're going to be getting. So deliver us, Father. You know what I mean? That's the prayer. We put up that prayer every day. All right? Let's hit this one. Habakkuk chapters 2. Could read the whole of it, but I'm going to get straight to the point because it really sums up these devils. Habakkuk chapters 2, we're going to read 5. It says, Ye also, because ye have transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither. Let's read 3. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. That's what it's doing, it's speaking now. We're at that time now, right? When you got the president over in Babylon, right, being linked with Epstein files, and the Epstein files, the rabbit hole goes deep with that, right? That speaks for itself about we're at that time. And also over here with near the president over there in the House of Commons over here right now in the House of Commons, under pressure to resign because of his links with the Lord Melderson thing. He's under pressure to resign. Will he resign? We will see. But that just lets us know, yeah, we're at that time, we're at the appointed time. Isaiah 47, their skirts is being lifted, their shame is being seen. We're at that time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So it's coming, it's here. Jacob's trouble is here, which is the devil's being exposed on the top of all of that. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. So his soul that is lifted up in him. Right? Look at that. Look at the faith. Get that visual. Right? The true face of crime. Sleazy. Right? They want to make Jake the face of crime. Yes, Jake be getting all kinds of folly and stupidness. Right? But we know that they're being seduced. Right? The true face of crime. Get a load of them. Get a load of them. Get a load of that. True face of crime. Get a load of the true face of crime. Right? The true face of crime. Sleazy. True face of crime. Can't do right. Get a load of them. Get a snapshot of that. Get a screenshot. However you do it. Get the true face of crime here. Right here in front of us. That's the true face of crime. Right? Yes, also. So behold his soul, back to Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he has transgressed by wine, the soul that is lifted up in him is not upright in him. And he's transgressed by wine, which goes into his philosophies, his traditions, right? And they're powered by the unclean frogs, right? The image of the beast. They represent the beast. They're the image of the beast. They're powered by, that's where they get their power from. And when you get into it a little bit more, they have a seat called the 13th seat that comes down. They call upon it, which is a demon. They call upon it and they get advice from that. When you get into it. So that's their soothsayers, their witchcraft, when you go into that in Isaiah 4:47. Right? The Chaldeans come down and sit in Adidas, and they're calling upon it now, and it's getting less and less. They're getting less and less backing from their left-hand side. That's why they're being exposed right now. So, transgressed by wine, his philosophies, his ways of living, his wine, his philosophies, his lies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death. Yeah, he's as death. That's why they leave a trail of destruction and death, harbingers of death. That's what they do. That's what fugitives do. They can't do right. That's why they have to be cool. Yeah? Hell as is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but in gathereth unto him all nations, and keepeth unto him all people. He is as death. This man is as death, right? That's why, one more time, that's why something about them with the babies, as innocent as you can get. What was that judge that she said? Some judge, that woman, I'm going to watch her. I'm going to end off with her, what she said. She was saying that your children, boy, you better teach your children at 2 about this devil, this strange devil. At 2, you know. What can a child know at 2? But she said it. You teach this man was getting down and dirty and filthy. You can't say what he was doing too much, because, look, the nursery worker has been found guilty of sexual abusing children in what was described in court as every parent's nightmare. Oh, man. So the spirit's got to be exposing these devils like we're supposed to be, right? And it's getting dark and more dirty and grimy. The more you dig, the more you find. The face, Sleazy, the true face of crime. That's going to be the title of the video. Something to that effect. Sleazy, the true face of crime. One more time. Because you know what they do when Jake be doing something? They stick him up in the police station. They stick his face up in the police station and they throw darts at him. If you're wanted, right? And I'm not, and we got suspicions as well what they're doing to the those, the brothers who are out here on the highways and the byways, they got all of the pictures, putting up prayers, curses, and all of that, trying to get this work to stop. But we're here to do the work of the Lord. Bounty hunters, right? The spiritual bounty hunters. We're spiritual, and that time gonna come as well. I don't want to get into that. It's not that video, but Jeremiah 16:16. The spiritual bounty hunters, bro. That's what we're looking forward to, man. We're gonna search him out. We're gonna have the visuals in our mind. We're gonna find them. That day of just fishing is gonna be stopped, right? The 2/3 also could be included in that, right? And the devils will be searched out. Right, they're going to try and run in the heavens under the, down in their deep underground bunkers, under the marine bunkers, in the space bunkers, right? Their space stations. But they ain't going to be able to get away from the elect. We're going to have spiritual power. We're going to find you. We're going to be able to go up into space and down beneath the sea. And don't forget Leviathan. He gonna be in the search. He gonna join the search party. He gonna join the search party. Leviathan. Talk about search party. We gotta search these criminals out. Let's get ice on them. You know what I mean? Let's go into these inner cities over there in Babylon right now. They've got the ice over there in the inner cities. Right? And they're deleting their own people included. But that's all the spirit of the Lord. But that's a search party. We're going to have a search party to find the criminals. Right? So Lucy Juicy. Lucy. You know that word there, Lucy? What does that mean? Loose, isn't it? Loose. You're on the loose right now, but you're going to get captured too. You know what I mean? And if there's any, half decent among ya, you're going to be concubines, any half decent among ya. So, right, that's the point. He also, because he hath transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He enlargeth his desires as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, harpeth unto him all people. This man is as deaf, man, and the soul that is lifted up in him is not upright in him. So yeah, they got their search parties right now over there, right? ICE be grabbing up Northern Tribe, all the tribes, roughing them up, and we're the face of crime. They make the so-called black people the face of crime. But let's hit this one. Proverbs 12:26 said, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them." Right? We know that, to be beguiled. They're just being beguiled. Right? The devil beguiled them, seduceth them, and then they, put it on mainstream and say, "Look what these people are doing." That's all part of it as well, to keep us back down. Right? There's stereotype. That's all to keep us down. But I'm just making the point right here. Yes, it's wicked what Jake be doing, and Jake gonna have to pay for that. He's gonna come back in his right mind. He has to be euthanized, and then he's gonna come back in his right mind with his head down in the kingdom. But hey, right now we're more excellent than our neighbor, but we being seduced. Jake be being seduced, and yeah, that's why the Most High has allowed his sword to go and rough them up over there in certain parts over there in America, with the ICE, National Guard, having their way right now, temporarily though, right, until Jake come back in his right mind. But they're wicked, but they're being seduced. They're seduced into their wickedness. But the real face of crime is the devil. You know what I mean? Yeah, I read it again. Psalms 144. That's a beautiful number. And the 7 means completeness. It's a beautiful number. All beautiful numbers. "Send thine hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of the great waters, from the hands of strange people." So we just looked at the true faces of crime right here. And the way of we've got to post these images up, because they've been hiding for far too long and getting away with it far too long. But they've now been convicted, right, and sentenced, and ultimately Yahushua going to come back, right? He's going to come back, and he's going to give them he's going to be the judge, jury, and executioner. And he ain't going to be swayed by your whiteness, as we know, right? You ain't gonna be swayed or beguiled, seduced by your lily whiteness, your what do you call it? Your white privilege. Your whole shy, right? Because nobody gets deleted innocently. Nobody gets deleted innocently, and whatsoever a man soweth, that he should also reap, and you have to pay for your crimes, right? Ultimately, you have to pay for your crimes. That's just the point right there. So your smiles and your acting all innocent and sweet ain't gonna be able to deceive your whole way, your whole shy when you return. Enough said. The wadi over Hashem Shai. Kala Yehovah Hashem Shai, Hashem Rakah, Wadash. To the
An
next one.
allegation was made, okay, that you've been seen on a number of occasions to assault children with sidearms. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
This is the moment.
Right, so the word just come to me. That's the word. There is no respect of persons. Your whole Shai ain't gonna be swayed or convinced by your innocent, convincing innocent way of speaking and acting all naive. It will be
An
swayed
allegation
by
was
that.
made, okay, that you've been seen on a number of occasions to assault children with sidearms. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
This is the moment police finally caught up with Roxana Lecker, a nursery worker trusted to care for babies and young children who instead physically abused them, today jailed for 8 years. Outside court, one family described what they've endured, their words spoken by their solicitor.
We've been on a roller coaster of emotions and feel hurt and angered by what our child endured. Whilst we've relieved, Lecker has been stopped and dealt with by the courts. The effect of what happened still impact on our family. We're now nervous about letting our child out of our sight and into the care of others.
CCTV captured her day after day, pinching, slapping, shoving, and even kicking a baby several times in the head, all while high on cannabis. This footage shows her vaping as infants slept, here just a metre away from a baby's head. In court, families said that they've been left feeling guilty and angry. Looking directly at Lecker, one mother said, "These children were so innocent and vulnerable. They couldn't speak. They couldn't defend themselves. They were totally helpless, and Roxana preyed upon them." After being caught pinching children last June at Riverside Nursery in southwest London, detectives began trawling through hours of footage and uncovered more assaults. The nursery has since shut down, but police say she also attacked a child at a second nursery nearby. But in police interview...
What about these big red marks and bruises to her back? Any idea about those? Did you cause those?
She refused to take responsibility for her actions.
There was no emotion, and at times she's seen twiddling her hair, and I think that speaks volumes to us about how she behaved in interview. There's no remorse, and that's only added to the pain that the families have experienced throughout this process.
Serious questions remain over Roxana Lecker's conduct and how it went unchecked for so long. The nursery has so far not responded to our request for comment, and families are now taking legal action. Sejal Karia, ITV News.
So Sleezy E, Sleezy E, Sleezy E, Sleezy E, Sleezy E, Sleezy E, this one will come up. Sleezy E, I'm gonna wait for it to come up. Sleezy E is the true face of crime, and when your whole shall return, right, there is no respect of person. Until the next one, we out.